Welcome back to RaceSpace Podcast. It is officially the greatest week in motorsports. I'm Chase Holden, joined with Garrett Smithley, the driver of the number 0 SS Greenlight BRK Racing Chevrolet. And we are just coming off of NASCAR All-Star Weekend, Dover Weekend. Dover Dega happened. A lot of you may not understand what Dover Dega is. You may not get it. It's kind of a thing that I had to share with you, Garrett, this weekend because it was kind of a insider thing that was like started with me a couple years ago. But if you've never been to Dover, I highly recommend you go because there is a place called Lot 10. And if you've ever been to Talladega, you understand the rowdiness of Talladega. Think Shantytown, Lot 10, and Talladega. They're kind of the same thing in a weird way. It's, and you got to meet a lot of the guys that we met that do Dover Dega every year. They came out to the track, had a great race. Corey Day, second. O'Reilly win that he got done. Kyle Busch, 69th truck win. And we've had a ton of IndyCar action going on. So we're going to dive all into it.
There has not been a winner that hasn't been Denny Hamlin at Dover since 2024. Actually, I think it's since 2023. 2023 or 2024.
It's
been a while.
Denny starts with a D. Dover starts with a D. Could be a sign.
Corey Day.
Corey Day? What about Kyle Busch, though? Where's the D? Where's the D in Kyle Busch?
Pause.
Yeah.
Pause.
Big pause there. So I'm glad you brought that up. It's like I just immediately skipped right over the All-Star race, the Cup race. Denny Hamlin.
You said it was All-Star Weekend, and I forgot it was All-Star Weekend until you said that.
I think a lot of people forgot it was All-Star Weekend, if we're being quite frank. We're going to talk all about it, though. I think as we do every week, though, we just want to say thanks for listening. Make sure you're subscribed on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. We had our most views ever.
Incredible. And we had some comments.
A lot of Shane Van Gisbergen fans showed up in the chat over on YouTube this past weekend. What a fan base he has outside of the United States of America.
The Kiwis are out. I mean, and somebody talked about Australia, and it's like, no, he's from New Zealand.
New Zealand.
You don't tell him that he's from Australia. That's not good. He's from New Zealand.
I learned this in IndyCar because of hanging around Scott Dixon and Scott McLaughlin for a lot of time. The Kiwis. Also, there's a lot of guys in IndyCar that are from a lot of different parts of the world. So you learn a lot over there. But coming back over here, it's just cool to see some of that because mostly it's your all-American boys.
That's right. But again, and we've talked about this before, but that's why I love SVG in this sport, in this series, and he's doing it, and I love it. So
it's
great. He was fast this weekend at Dover. Another this is a track.
I didn't get to check the stats on him this week.
Well, he spun a couple times. He had some issues, but he was fast. I mean, he was up there. So and Trackhouse was fast. Zillich was fast. It was. Yeah, we'll talk about all that, but
there were some surprises for sure. So we'll get into pretty much every series, talk a little bit about that. We're going to cover some news as we always do, but let's start it off with Garrett's race recap.
Yeah.
The weekend in Dover, the O'Reilly race. Start us off, Garrett. Walk us through this race. Tell us about everything that happened from your perspective in the car.
300 starts. The 300th start did not go the way we drew it out at all. It was a good weekend going into it. A lot of hype, a lot of excitement, night fire on the car. We had the flames going. We love flames on race cars. Not real flames, as Ryan Preece saw, but flames on the race car. Pretty good practice. I mean, I was pretty pleased with our speed, all things considered. I think we unloaded around 29th, and then qualifying came around. And I just about wrecked the thing on lap one. I told you, I said, please get out of your war room, your race tech war room for practice, because you don't typically go to the pit road during practice. And I said, go down there and go down into turn one and watch us bomb into turn one because it is a sight to see. Dover is one of the craziest tracks that we go to, really physical. My back is still jacked up from it because it's just all the compression, all the G-forces. last night I was tossing and turning. Just it takes a few days to just kind of get the back straightened out after Dover. But I drove it down into turn 1. As Danny Stockman would say, you got to put the nuts on the dash.
Yep.
We did that, and I just put him in the fence, almost put him in the fence, saved it, and then fortunately at Dover we have 2 laps, so we kind of gathered it up and then ran a pretty respectable lap, all things considered. Put us 30th starting spot, and then kind of maintained that most of the day. Felt really good about our car. I felt like we were just 1 or 2 adjustments off of what we needed to be. We made a spring rubber adjustment in the left rear, and that kind of brought the car to life. Had to run on scuffs for one of the restarts, I think firing off on stage 3, but we started moving forward. Got up to 20th, I think at some point, 20th, 23rd. Was right around the 87. We got a lap down early and then got that back. And then just felt like we were going to set sail. A lot of crashes. Felt like this was one of the more racy Dover races. They put the resin on the track. I didn't feel like that it changed a whole lot in like tire wear. Felt like the track was just a little bit quicker. Like there was some simulations that we were told that we were going to be going like a second quicker, which I think would have been crazy. But felt like it was a little bit racier. Felt like that it helped us kind of widen that groove out a little bit quicker, and felt like that we could make some passes. So, and we were doing that. We were moving forward. We put tires on. We put our last set of tires on at one of those cautions, and then we got dumped with I think it was like lap 2 on one of the restarts. So the 28 took us out. Unfortunate there. Basically just completely ruined our day. We stayed on the lead lap for a little bit after that. We had flat spotted tires. The thing was running, and then finally the right rear gave out. Completely tore the right rear quarter panel out, and then we just had to kind of limp around. Me and the 54 had a mid off, as you could say. We were trying to stay above minimum speed, which we both couldn't, and we came in, made some adjustments, came back out, and then just kind of limped back home for the last 10 laps. So we did finish the race. We got in the double bonus. So again, it seems like that we have this adversity, and then we just kind of make the best out of it as we can. And, I think, it was another top 20 day that was ruined by somebody else and just stuff that was out of our control. But really happy with the speed out of our car. Again, I just feel like that, we're unloading pretty decent, and then just in the race, just kind of finding those adjustments, and then we're getting the adjustments. And had we not gotten wrecked, I think it would have been another top 20 day. So proud of our guys, proud of the effort, getting the thing fixed again, and, kind of limping home.
Yeah, that was the biggest thing that you said was like finding the silver lining in all of this, right?
We have to. It just seems like, and we were kind of doing our debrief yesterday and, talking about some of the race tech stuff and some of the data and some of the things that we can pull. And I was looking down at our races and I'm like, man, Atlanta was clean. And then Phoenix, we're really fast. And then we have a parts failure. Texas, we're pretty fast. We have
Shank.
We have the space junk. Yeah. We Bristol, we had some issues, and we had that axle seal go bad. Martinsville, we're fast, top 10 speed, got wrecked. So it's like over and over again, all these things are happening, and we're quick, but for some reason we can't. So I feel like that tide is going to turn in the second half of the season. Yeah. But we are at the very least making the best out of these bad situations, and that's what you have to do. You can't let them compound. You have to take these things, take the positives, and then move forward and hopefully do better the next run.
Yeah, you wash it. You don't think about what happened last weekend. You think about what's going to happen this weekend. You put the best foot forward. It's a big learning curve, a lot of learning this year, tons of learning. I cannot stress enough the amount of learning that I know I'm personally going through, and that just kind of being around the team and just seeing, that resilience is everything, man. So it's I fully agree. Like, we still have a lot of racing left to go in 2026.
A lot of racing.
It feels like we have already raced an entire season.
Yeah.
It does, but that's just kind of the nature of the beast, being on the road so much and doing these things, and it definitely it can light you up in a certain way to where you're just like, all right, you look at that schedule and you're like, man, like, what am I tripping on? Like, we got time. Like, we got time to get it right. So
18 races to go, man.
That's it, man.
Buckle up.
That's it. And we got an awesome one coming up this weekend. With Cole going to be back in the car, and then we're right back at it in Nashville where we get back to it. So I know we'll be talking about that over the weeks. Some of this race, we can just kind of start with the O'Reilly race like we normally do.
Yeah.
To kind of kick it off, I watched a good bit of this race last night. I was kind of typically just like watching when I'm doing my stuff. I always kind of like try to follow around like what's happening at what lap, make sure all of our stuff's lining up, and then just got to get to catch some of the sound nuggets and some of the highlights of the race itself. Corey Day, leading 4 laps, getting his second win in the O'Reilly series. This kid is shining.
At a place that he has never been to.
Never been to, but because of that dirt background that he has, being in that sprint car, when you're watching him rip, and I've noticed this my entire life, like the reason I love Dover so much is not just because of the boys and hanging out and stuff like that, but there's something about the way the cars move on that track where it's like surfing and swimming to me. And you just have these darts, complete, absolute rocket darts in the O'Reilly series, doing that swimming through the curves and how they move. Just, I don't know, it captivates me. But watching that for someone that is just coming in to this series, into a national series, to be able to find a way to keep it together at a track like Dover, it's not an easy track to race at.
No, it's not an easy track to drive on. I mean,
all.
just driving on it alone, it's like it's one of the most physical tracks that we go to. I would probably say my back feels worse after a Dover race than any other track that we go to, just because of all the compression. You see the in-car footage of us in the cars, and you see us coming off the corner. Like you said, that kind of surfing. We're going like this. We're coming off the corner. We get lifted out of the car, and then we go down to the corner. You get compressed all the way down. And it's like when we're talking about our car to our crew chief in practice, Dover's like one of the only tracks that we go to that we talk about like how our car is on landing, because it literally feels like you're driving off a cliff going down into turn 1 from top to bottom. It's like a 3-story drop. You're pulling about 3 Gs. You're driving and you can't really see it on TV, but like you really do drive over this hump where like in practice and in qualifying, you have to drive it over that hump and lift after you get over it. If you lift on it, you're wrecking. Like you're literally crashing every single time. And then in the race, once the tires start falling off, you have to lift before it and kind of let it float in. So you're literally going down, driving down, kind of letting it diamond up, and then driving off. And then you have that transition coming off the corner. It's a wild track. And I mean, it is, Dover is just so, like, it's so NASCAR. Like, yeah. I love it.
Yeah, and that's a big talking point too, and I will get your opinion on it. And I feel like we can go ahead and bring it up now. I mean, there's been a lot of people worried that Dover is not coming back next year, and I've heard a lot of people that were at the track talking about it, and they're like, man, they put the All-Star Race here. It's like, we're not really sure. But then I get home and I'm looking at all the news, and there's just millions of people, it seems like, that are like, Dover's great, praising Dover, showing the fans, showing everything else. It is so NASCAR. And I learned that going there in 2022 for the first time, or 2021 for the first time.
Yeah.
I learned this. So, I know personally that I don't want to see that track go anywhere. I don't think it will. I think we see it go back to a points race next year. But for the O'Reilly race, and I mean, just having the trucks there, having the O'Reillys there, like, have them all there. Yep. Have all the crowd there. Yep. And then you got to see some of these guys that are up and coming in the O'Reilly series kind of struggle a little bit. Like, we'll talk about Raja Carruth really quickly. Like, he was kind of big on the highlights, and it's, and I wanted to ask you kind of like your take after watching some of the things that happened to Raja this weekend. how important is it prepping for this track, and how long does it take somebody to really get the hang of Dover? Because it seems like there were some times where he would get low, and he spun out a couple of guys during the race trying to really just dig it down deep in there. But what you're just describing right now is like there's a lot of technical work happening at this track, maybe so much more than other tracks.
Yeah, it's a lot of aero. Raja had some issues where, he would go down into the corner and there'd be a car outside of him and he'd get the air taken off of him and he couldn't hold it. He couldn't control it. And he even said that in his interview. He's like, it's my responsibility no matter how hard the outside guy is sucked on his door. It's his responsibility to keep that thing straight and to keep his car at least off of the other guy's car. And it happened twice. So it happened with Jesse Love, which they've had some run-ins this year already. And then it happened with Harrison Burton and, kind of ruined, actually it did ruin Harrison's day. So, he's struggling. I think he's feeling the pressure. I think he sees a guy like Corey Day that, this is, really... He's really gotten going this year. I mean, Raja's had some success in the Truck Series, and he's had some struggles in the Truck Series, but he's run a lot of races, and he has this opportunity, kind of splitting with JRM and with Jordan Anderson in the 32 car. He has this opportunity to go full time, and he knows he only has a certain amount of starts in that 88 car. So he knows going into that, he kind of already has that pressure, and I think he's starting to feel it. And he even said, he's like, hey, I'm racing for my life out here. I'm racing for my career. Nothing's guaranteed for him. He doesn't know if he's going to have this opportunity going into, 2027. So, he's doing everything in his power to put himself in a position where he can have these opportunities. Corey Day felt that obviously at the beginning of the season, and he's done a complete 180, and now he's winning races, and he's up front, and, he's in the conversation. So Raja sees that, I think, and he's like, man, here's a HendrickCars.com car that's running up front. My HendrickCars.com car, I'm causing some issues. I need to figure it out real quick.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm a big Raja guy. I've known him for a while, and I want to see him succeed. But you're completely right. I mean, it's like I get the pressure part of it, just being on the outside looking in. I mean, it's big opportunities, and I feel like after a weekend like this, it's a lot you can take away from it. He's one of those guys that really can pack things in, learn from it. So looking forward to seeing what he does when he gets back out there and what he learned and took away from this weekend. Were there any big surprises for you personally looking back at this race and how everything shook out at the end?
Well, the 87 car, I mean, they had the right strategy. The 87 and the 32 started up front on one of the restarts, stayed out, didn't take tires, kind of saved their tires for the end. I got to give a shout to this Andrew Patterson guy. This is like his second or third start in the series, and he ran really fast at Rockingham. And now, I mean, he started on the front row here and didn't cause any issues and, ran 19th. He's doing a really good job.
Who is this guy? Where does he do we know where he comes from?
He was a mechanic at Jordan Anderson Racing.
Okay.
And I believe he or his family owns an ARCA team, Patterson Racing. So he ran some ARCA races. Kind of just came out of nowhere. As far as me, I don't know anything other than the fact that he was a mechanic at Jordan Anderson and he ran some ARCA races. He has an ARCA team, and now he's running in the O'Reilly Series. And this is his second or third race, and he he had some moments. I was around him a little bit, but he's obviously in a fast car, and he's making the best of it. So I'm impressed with him. I'm disappointed that Austin Green finished 12th. Because we were around him basically all day long. I mean, he was a couple spots ahead of us. We weren't quite as good as him, but I mean, he's got a much better car, and they're spending way more money than we are. But we were kind of around him, and he ended up finishing 12th. So you see a guy like that who's doing a good job. Obviously, has a ton of talent and has a good car. But when you race around somebody and then they have a good finish, and you don't because of circumstances, it's like, man, what a missed opportunity. I don't think we could have gotten up to 12th, but I think we could have run top 20 and possibly top 15. So just disappointing there. Ross Chastain wins the pole. This is his first pole at Dover, and I do got to give a shout to him. I was kind of rooting for him. Obviously, he's a good friend of mine, friend of the show, and Dover is such an important part of his career. He made his Cup debut at Dover in the 15 car years and years ago, and a lot of people don't realize that his sponsorship at Dover with the Protect Your Melon and Use Your Melon campaigns, that was such a big part of him racing for JD Motorsports and getting him full time for JD Motorsports, and then getting him ready for the opportunities that he obviously grabbed a hold of and won with Ganassi, and now obviously he's Cup superstar and Coke 6 winner and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And Dover for him is really important, and so for him to lead laps in the Truck Series, for him to lead laps and have a shot to win here this weekend in the O'Reilly Series, unfortunately he got taken out by the 54. But it was cool to see him running up front, win a stage, get the pole. That was good momentum for him. I was hoping that he was going to do a little bit better in the race, but this is such an important place for him, and it was cool to see him kind of succeed there. Didn't get the finish he wanted, but got the pole, and I think that was his first pole in the O'Reilly Series since he got the pole in his first start with Ganassi at Darlington. So kudos to him. I know he's been working really hard to get the speed up of that 9 car. I know he's been disappointed with that in the past, so happy to see him. And it seems like now that they've kind of opened up the O'Reilly Series for the Cup guys to come in and run more, like he wants to run. I mean, if it was up to him, he would run every single race in all 3 series. And
I could see that.
He tried to do it the one year, running the trucks and the Cup and the O'Reilly. So, yeah, he's just a racer's racer. He wants to race as much as he can, so shout out to him. Other than that, I think, Justin Allgaier almost won it. Corey Day found the cushion and was ripping around the top of the track. Sam Mayer fast again. I mean, we see week in and week out those House Factory cars, especially Sam Mayer, has been really fast. I think pretty standard there.
Love it. And I know we can hear it directly from you, but you did have a clip on Front Stretch where they interviewed you after the race, talked a little bit about what happened, and we can play that actually right now for everybody. So we'll click over here and let's run this video. I remember him walking up to you. I was like, all right.
Yeah,
Front Stretch, always there.
This is hearing from
It seemed like you had a
Glasses
pretty quiet
Garrett.
day going. Then at the end, just what happened?
Yeah, we worked really hard to get this thing better. We were just like 1 or 2 adjustments off all day, and then we finally got that last adjustment, and then we didn't get a chance to use it because the 28 dumped us. So I went over and talked to him, and he apologized. He said it was just, stupid move and whatever. So hopefully he cuts us some slack somewhere else, but doesn't fix our car and doesn't get our points that we should have had, and just disappointed all around, but it's racing.
In return, does that ruin you cutting him any slack going forward?
I mean, I'm not going to go out of my way, I'll tell you that. He's got a lot more to lose than we do. And I told him, I said, with his Haas Factory alliance, he's got a plenty fast enough car to get around us. Like, just be a little patient. And I know he was pissed off. His crew chief came over and he had a penalty and whatever. But doesn't fix our car, so maybe they'll help us. It was out lap 2 on the restart.
Lap
Lastly,
2 on the
being
restart.
with these guys this year, like, do you see
And I
any
saw you were
momentum
coming,
going?
dude. You were
guys
humming
kind of
out
gelling?
there.
Yeah.
Like,
100%. I was excited about this question. After today, we're probably He asked about back, but we were how this 25th year's in been points. going. That's 10 spots better than where we ever were last year. So it's huge momentum. Alex LeBay getting the road courses is really helping us out. Cole Custer's back in the car. with a Haas prepared car next week, so that's been helping us out quite a bit. And our car, like when I drive, it's been like night and day better than what we had last year. So it's just a grind, and it's a really, really difficult series to compete in. There's a lot of money that we're up against, and we just got to keep fighting.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Hi,
just,
everybody.
and
Tom Bowles from Front.
while he's asking me this question, I'm looking at the haulers, and that really kind of puts everything in perspective, because you park where you're at in points, and you're looking at all the haulers, and it's like we're right next to the 48. Like, they're spending so much money. They have a full ECR or RCR alliance on campus there, and you look down the line, and it's like, who are we supposed to beat? Like, on paper, we're not supposed to be 26th. And I know we have this help, and I know Cole's in our car, and that's a Haas car, and Alex is doing a great job on the road course with our own equipment. But we're 26th after missing Daytona and having all the issues that we just talked about. We're still 26th.
Yeah.
And like, I just keep thinking about how much better it could be if we don't have these issues. So I think it's just a testament to how hard our guys are working. And like I said, on paper, like, we should probably be like the second or third worst team in the series. And, you know, we're head and shoulders punching above our weight class. So we're not quite there yet, but we're definitely getting there. And morale's still very high, even though we're not where we want to be, and we didn't have the race that we wanted, and we have a tore up race car. You know, you come in, you know, Monday morning, Tuesday, Wednesday, and these guys are excited to be here. The morale's high. I'm really excited for the second half of the season.
I am too, man.
I want to get back in the race car.
I am too, and I see it. I see it every day. I feel it, man. So it's great to hear. So O'Reilly Series recap. You've had it right there. Let us know what you thought about the O'Reilly race. Let's move into trucks. Kyle Busch has now gotten his 69th win in the truck series. Correct?
69th win. I want to see.
Let's just kick it off.
I want to see Kyle talk about his 69th win.
Yeah.
Just a little press conference deal. I love this.
Is there maybe a set win total that you're looking to accomplish now that you've hit your 69th year tonight?
6'9".
What?
My wife's in California.
Is there maybe a
He
set
pauses and
total
waits.
that you're looking to accomplish
And he goes,
now that
my
you've
wife's
hit
not
your
here.
69th?
Yeah.
6'9".
He's right back. We had to watch that one twice. The popular 6'7" meme is now 6'9", and 69 was first. By the way, it was nice.
It was.
You know, so he did all of his quotes and things like that.
It was for the Gen X's and the millennials.
That's it.
But I love this. Kyle Head and Shoulders had the best truck, and I think, and here's the crazy part: the Cup stuff has been going way better for Kyle. When the Cup stuff wasn't going and he got in the trucks, he was struggling in the trucks.
Yeah.
Now that he's got the Cup stuff rolling a little bit, all of a sudden he's got some swagger back to him.
Here we go.
He's dominating trucks again.
Needs to be up front.
It's the momentum shift. It's just like the spiral down, and then you dig yourself out of that hole, and then once you get a little bit of momentum, you just kind of latch onto that, and then you spiral back up. And here we are. Excuse me. Here we are. Kyle Busch dominating, winning the race. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, it's like there wasn't much. I know I was on an airplane flying in that night. I didn't get to watch much of the truck race, but he led 147 laps in this one.
Yep.
Caden Honeycutt with 1 lap led. Shout out to Caden. And then Chastain led 49 in this race. So that was your lap leaders, which is really impressive. Only 3 guys led laps in this one at a place like Dover. Ty Majeski finished second, Lane Riggs third, Honeycutt fourth, and Bell in fifth. That's another guy we've been seeing pop up. Bell seems like he's getting a little truck tour in him right now or something. He raced at Bristol. Has he done any other trucks up until this point?
Yeah, he ran at. Wait a minute. Maybe Bristol was his first one this year.
Might have been. Yeah.
Bristol might have been his first one.
So just always cool to see more Cup guys running in the Truck Series. The Truck Series is one of those, like when I'm at the track and I get to watch it, I love to watch a truck race when I'm at the track.
Yeah.
And then, kind of trying to keep up on it. But just really cool to see him be able, Kyle Busch, to be able to do this. And I think you're right, man. I think a lot of it is the psychological component with Kyle Busch. He seems to wear his emotions on his sleeve a little bit more, and maybe he doesn't even realize that, or maybe that's just something that I've picked up on. But I think a lot of people might be able to see that. Like, he's a highly emotional guy. You know that he is very passionate. You know that he cares. So him having moments like this definitely carries over, I believe. And coming off of Watkins Glen, he had a top 10 finish, which is great. Both RCR cars did. And then at the All-Star Race, I haven't really got to check and see where he ended up, but I'm sure
he got wrecked.
Yeah.
Kyle got wrecked, but he was fast.
Sometimes
he was quick.
Sometimes it'd be like that.
Yeah, he was quick, but it was a good truck race. I kind of was roaming around the entire track during the truck race.
Yeah.
So
did you have any good sights? Any good sights and smells and sounds?
Yeah, I started on our hauler in our pits, and I love Dover because like where our pits are, it's like right in the middle of 3 and 4. So I got to watch truck qualifying, which is so cool. Those things were hitting the chip down into turn 3. I watched Kyle's pole lap. He did lift, but it didn't sound like he lifted. It lifted. He literally drove that thing down, and you could hear the rev chip go.
He tippy tapped it, maybe,
and then kind of like lifted a little bit, and he chipped all the way to like the center of the corner, just a little bit of lift, and then right back into it.
Wow.
Dover, if you haven't been to Dover, if you can get to Dover, you gotta go because watching the speed of these things go around the corners, it's insane. It's 24 degrees of banking. It's so much fun watching these trucks go down into turn 1, go down into turn 3, and kind of tiptoe over that hump like I told you, have to drive through it. So I started down there for the start of the truck race, and then we have a longtime sponsor, Ken Adams, Iron Source. He owns Georgetown Speedway, which is a dirt track. Seabell and Stuart Friesen were there running a modified race. I think it was a World Outlaw modified race or something like that on Wednesday. I haven't been able to go up there, but I really want to go up there at some point. But he's supported us. He supported me since JD Motorsports days. He was a good friend of Johnny Davis. He was on our car. We had Heroes Haven was on our car last year, so he helped us out a little bit last year. Camp Barnes. So he does a lot of stuff in the community, but his grandfather built Dover Speedway, Dover Motor Speedway. So he has a permanent suite there, so he always invites us up. And when Bobby Allison was around, I actually met Bobby Allison in the suite. They were good friends of all the Alabama gang. I know Donnie Allison was up there with our owner Beth and Randy on Sunday. So I started down there and then walked all the way around the horse track and over the bridge and then all the way back around to the suite. And I was sweating by that time. I had my hoodie on, which even if it's hot outside, it's hard for me to strip that hoodie off.
Right.
So got up there and hung out with them for a little bit. Hung out with Rob from Menning Seafood. We've done some stuff with them in the past. So it was really cool because I hadn't seen them in a long time. I hadn't got to hang out with them in the Dover suite for a while. So got to kind of hang out with some of them. Daniel Hemrick's mom was up there. I know her from the Legend days, so got to hang out with her for a little bit. And then watch basically the second stage or the final stage up there and then walk down across the track after the race was over. So I was kind of all around watching this race. It was a good race. Again, Ross got to lead some laps. Seems like for some way, some reason, somehow in this 45 truck, doesn't seem like he has the speed that they want out of that thing, but he always finds a way to lead laps. He did it last week at where were we at?
Watkins
Glen, and then did it again at Bristol or at Dover and led some laps, led 49 laps. So And then there was just some. I think we actually saw green flag pit stops out of these guys in the truck series, which is rare. So, it was a good truck race. Shout out to Clint Boyer. He was there. They were having fun in the booth with him. Unfortunately, he had some. I think he had a hub go bad, but it sounded like he was having a lot of fun. He was mixing it up a little bit with those guys. Ram, 2 top 10s, and Brennan Queen with 13th. So. They're starting to figure it out on the Rams side.
How about that?
Yeah.
I love the program they have going on. Yes, I got to go back and watch some of those sound bites. But yeah, the whole program that they're doing over at Colleague is great. And then, everything you're saying, the green flag stops, I didn't realize, you really don't get that a lot these days just because of the cautions that we get. But that's kind of the name of the game in trucks. We had a lot of cautions at the All-Star race, too, in the Cup Series.
Had a lot of cautions. You want to talk about the All-Star race?
Yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. And I just want to kick it off by saying this. I want to set the record straight. I watched highlights of the All-Star race. I was at home that day. We were all very tired, and I slept a good bit through that, and I watched a lot of Indy 500. The qualifying was that Sunday as well, so I was watching that well into the evening. But I did get to catch a good bit of it, and for some reason, man, and I don't know whether it's just the track or what it is, but it just usually I'm pretty excited for an All-Star race. There was just something so different about it this year, and I could easily say it's because Dover's not a good place for it, but I really think the reason being is because I want an All-Star race at night. I feel like an All-Star race is supposed to be at night. I don't think Dover has lights.
They don't.
And that really threw me off because I remember waking up and I'm like, this is going to start later in the day, and I didn't even really put 2 and 2 together about them not having lights, and I'm like, why is the All-Star race coming on at 1 o'clock?
1 o'clock.
What are we doing? And I'm like, there's no football. They got some baseball or whatever, but it's baseball is every day. So it just really threw me for a loop, and I was like, I've already missed a few minutes of the truck race because I'm napping, or not the truck race, the Cup race. But I went back and watched some of the highlights, just crazy crashes going into the beginning of it. You had some wild finishing results, some guys that you didn't see as usual. I want Dover to go back to being points race. It's a great race. Start at 1 o'clock next year as a points race. That's fine.
Sure.
But there's so many people that are calling for – I feel like NASCAR's in this moment where everything's being called back to originality. Everybody's kind of wanting the Clash to go back to Daytona. Now we're wanting the All-Star race to go back to Charlotte. I wouldn't mind it. That track puts on a great show with this next-gen car. It really does. And so I would not be shocked at all if we saw the All-Star race return to Charlotte next year. That way it gives a nice 2 weeks, and it really allows NASCAR to show their stuff alongside of IndyCar, because IndyCar's got this huge 2 weeks going on of practice and qualifying, getting ready for the Indy 500. I feel like it would put some soul back into the Coke 600, having all these events kind of at one place for 2 weeks at a time. Yeah. What are your thoughts on that?
It's no different than the Daytona 500 and having the Clash back at Daytona. I mean, it's 2 weeks of excitement of being down in Daytona. It's the same thing with Charlotte. You remember Speed Street at Charlotte? I mean, you had 2 weeks of being home, the fan days. It's so many more opportunities to have the drivers do these appearances at home, and they're willing to do it more because they are home.
Yeah.
Do you think these guys really want to go all the way up to Dover and then do all kinds of different stuff and then come back home? And it's so much easier to get these guys motivated to do stuff when they can just drive down the road, do an appearance wherever, and then be back home.
And it's going to bring people that are NASCAR fans outside of the 100%. State of North Carolina to North Carolina.
Yep.
That is good for all types of reasons, and it gets fans a chance to go to the race shops and go check out their favorite driver, where the cars get built and stuff. So
go check out the Hall of Fame. Go check out Speed Street. Go check out whatever, Lake Norman. Go check out SS Greenlight.
Yeah,
BRK Racing. Come
by.
Come
by and see us. So that's That's the beauty of doing that, and I feel like if we get back to that, you're going to start seeing some things really just kind of like that tradition will take hold again. That's why Indy, I think, is such a big thing, is because they've stuck to the plan for years, man. They've never veered from it. It's just, this is how it is. This is how it goes. It's the month of May. And this is what's going down. And everyone knows, like, okay, every year, that's our trip. That's where we're going. That's what we're doing. Let's get some of that going back for NASCAR again as well. So that was just my 2 cents on the whole deal. Not that I thought it was the worst race. Obviously, we see Denny Hamlin put it down to him. Interesting stat you dropped in the beginning of the episode about him now winning, 3 in a row here?
Yeah, it was. I think it's something like 3. I think it's been like 3 years. The last 3 years has been a Denny Hamlin win.
Yeah,
so.
him and Chase Briscoe put on a hell of a little battle right there towards the end of that race. And then really was shocked to see Eric Jones, Austin Dillon, and Connor Zilisch inside of the top 5.
Yeah.
Really mainly Eric Jones. Because, I mean, we've seen Eric Jones, like, we know, like, he's really good at Darlington. He can show up there and perform. We know Eric Jones is a good super speedway guy. He just popped up at Dover, dude. So, I mean, it's like, and I got to go back and look at the stats of Eric Jones over the years. Maybe he has been decent at this track, and I just haven't ever realized it. But, Austin Dillon at, like, Richmond, they obviously had some stuff figured out there. He's been able to show up a little bit. And then really, mainly, it's just really good to see Zilisch be able to get a result like this because, like we've talked about on this program and some episodes back, we don't want to see homeboy getting the imposter syndrome. He's got to show up, show out. He's got to do his thing. Yeah. So just was it interesting results from this race. And overall, just anytime I can, like we said, Dover's just, I love watching racing at Dover. A lot of people had some issues with the format and stuff like that. I don't really ever pay attention to that stuff. It's just cars on track. It's All-Star.
Listen, I never have any issues with the format just because it's like whatever.
It's an All-Star race.
But I will say I had zero clue what was going on. Like
yes.
I was watching.
That's usually every year, though.
I was watching that first 75 laps, or I guess there was like 2 stages. I do think it was a big miss to put everybody on track at the same time. I think there definitely needs to be an open because you had Chase Elliott, who's your most popular driver, did not compete in the All-Star race.
Yeah.
Because he got crashed. And, Ross, Coke 6 winner. Defending Coke 6 winner, not in the All-Star race.
What's going on?
Like there was some there. I kind of take issue with that. I do love that everybody is included. Like I've run 3 or 4 All-Star Opens. Funny enough, I've never ran at Charlotte, but I ran at Bristol twice, and I ran at Texas I think once or twice, maybe once. But I love the fact that everybody's involved. There's 2 All-Star formats that I think would be just electric.
What you got?
The first one I think should be multi-class. I think it should be Cup, O'Reilly, Trucks. All the winners from all those different go. And if you want to show up and run the Open, anybody can do it from any series. And then run them all together. I think a multi-class 1.5-mile race at Charlotte would be awesome.
So are we talking about putting guys from these other series into the Cup car, or
no,
we're talking about having
I'm saying put Cup cars, put O'Reilly cars, and put trucks all on the same track and have a race.
Brother. Brother.
I'm telling you.
I will say this. I think that would be electric to watch. I would watch that. I would watch replays of that for months at a time. However, we have to address the elephant in the room. Does NASCAR want to show the O'Reilly car competing against the next-gen car?
So here's the thing. You'd have to make it to where the Cup car was quickest. And there are some tracks that we go to. In fact, I think Dover, the trucks were the fastest qualifiers.
Yeah.
I think.
So to me, like, that would be the issue because you like it's almost like you're completely manufacturing. Like, what would the point of those other cars be if you have to make the Cup car the quickest? Like, because the whole goal would be to just let them get out there in their equipment and run and see what happens.
Yeah,
that would be electric. I personally want to see that happen.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe we can simulate it somehow. Maybe we can find a way to sim
it. We
it.
can do iRacing.
Can we? Can you do that on iRacing?
I'll do that. Yeah. You can.
So you can do multiple cars in the same race at the same track.
Yep. Here's what I'll do. Before, like, this year for a stream, I'll do, like, a promoter stream and then have whoever, viewers, whatever, come in, and then we'll do a race.
We should definitely do that. We should get multiple drivers involved.
All right, we'll do it.
Have them see, like, that's the perfect way to do this. Like, let's line it up. Let's see what the viewership is like, and then we can get guys from the O'Reilly series to actually run the O'Reilly car. We'll get guys from the Truck series to actually run the trucks, and we'll get guys from the Cup series to actually run the next gen car.
Yeah,
and
we
then
can make that happen.
I think that would be a great way to, like, kind of get a little feel for that. What's your other idea for an All-Star race?
My other idea is just Cup. And then do an elimination race where if you want to put everybody in, well, I don't think that everybody should be in the All-Star race, but you have the open and you run that, like, whatever. The top 2, top 3 get in, and then the fan vote, whatever you want to do with that. For the actual All-Star race, have it to where it's an elimination race where every 10 laps, the last place finisher for every 10 laps comes off the track. So, and then you get to the point where you're down to 10, and then you do like a 20 lap. Everybody puts tires on, and you do 20 laps to the end.
Okay.
So it's an elimination race where everybody is driving their butts off at the back of the field to try to get to the next. It's like an arcade game, like Cruising USA or Daytona USA, where you have the clock.
Yeah.
You got to beat the clock. Well, you can't be last.
Right. Yeah, you've got to, like, make sure that, like, by the end of whatever period or whatever stage you're in, like, you're in a certain position to keep going forward.
Yeah.
To me, that would be the best way to do an All-Star race.
Yeah.
And I really don't understand too, because I know at, like, Wilkesboro, it seemed like, you know, you had multiple. You had, like, the Open, and then you had that, and then they were transferred to the main race. So
I think that's how it always should be.
Why did we like? Was this the first year we've done it this way?
Mm-hmm. I believe this is the first year that everybody was on track at the same time.
Wow.
There's always an Open, and then the actual.
So we really rolled the dice this year.
Yeah.
With this
I
one.
think they said, it's a Dover. Let's just throw stuff at a wall and see what sticks.
Yeah, that is.
Which I hate it because I felt like the racing here was of the best racing that we've seen at Dover in a long time in a Cup car.
Yeah.
I really do. I mean, I think that it was higher horsepower, it was lower downforce, it was this new rules package. I think the PJ1 really helped widen the grooves. I think it was really racy, and I hate it because I do think it was a good race.
Yeah.
I do think it was, and I think it was just. And I'll tell you what, like the crowd looked like it was like massive.
Yeah.
I think it was the governor that said that whenever NASCAR comes to the state of Delaware, it is the biggest sporting event of the year in the state.
To be fair, Delaware is the smallest state but so that could make complete sense.
Still,
I don't know. Do they have any other sports that are going on in Delaware? Do they have sports teams? I don't think they have a baseball team. They don't have a basketball team. They don't have a football team. Even more of a reason to keep Dover on the schedule. NASCAR is Dover's sport.
yeah.
Like, NASCAR is Delaware's sport. Delaware's for NASCAR.
Yep.
Okay.
Delaware's for NASCAR.
That's where we're keeping it. Paul Revere, he rode on a horse to let them know the British were coming, and then all of our guys are riding in cars to let them know NASCAR's in town.
Yep.
Same guy, same thing,
That's
right
it.
there.
Yep.
Denny Hamlin's Paul Revere now.
One
All
is by
right.
land, two is by sea.
That's it. It's beautiful. So, yeah, Dover, years to come. Don't go anywhere, Dover. We love you.
Yep.
Moving from the NASCAR side of things, talk a little bit of IndyCar and go over a couple of little notes. As we talk into IndyCar, we're kind of bridging from NASCAR to IndyCar right now. There is some cross-related news that came out that affects both NASCAR and IndyCar. Katherine Legge will be attempting the double. She will be running the Indy 500 and will be running the Coke 600. Live Fast Motorsports on the NASCAR side, and I believe she's doing like a deal with AJ Foyt and I think it's HMS, I believe. It's kind of a joint venture. We know that she's in the Elf car. She's rocking Elf.
She's in the Elf car.
So the joint venture over there running in the Indy 500, this is just really huge because it is the first female to do this. We've never had a female in the history of life that has attempted to do the double. Katherine, I have so much respect for her. Just as a driver, I got to like meet her, I got acquainted with her in the IndyCar series. You've actually spent some time with her in the past as well. Talk a little bit about her and like her ethic and what she brings to the table.
Yeah, we were teammates a few different times over the course of our careers. She's a great gal. She is a very talented race car driver. And I've said this before. I think last year she got put in some impossible situations and really made the best of them. Had a really good race at Chicago. I believe finished top 20. It was 20th or 22nd. So had a really good race there. And yeah, she's done some really, really cool things. She ran that Delta Wing in the 24 hours race and had a shot to win, like overall. I think they ended up getting crashed there, but yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool to see a female do the double. I believe this is the first foreign-born driver to do the double as well. So really cool. She's and she's great for the sport. I think she's definitely got an uphill battle on the Cup side because the Coke 6 is it's quite the race.
Yeah.
And I think what's probably not going to be talked about as much as it should is that she's doing this with teams that don't have the resources like a Hendrick or a McLaren. Like, she's having to do this, and I don't know all the logistics. I don't know who's handling the travel, everything like that. But I can tell you one thing, she is not going to have the support that Kyle Larson did as far as just the logistics in general.
Yeah, unless somebody like comes in quickly, like last minute this week.
I hope that they have all that stuff situated.
They have to. I mean, she's got to get in that helicopter, in that plane, and immediately like jet over. I remember hearing from some of the people that were with Kyle when he was there just how that whole deal worked out. And I mean, he wrecked out, in that second one, but even after the first one with the rain and everything that pushed everything back, like that is a gauntlet, dude.
Yeah.
That is hell. That's got to be like, you got to be ready to go because like you will get left. You know what I mean? So
I was really disappointed. I mean, Kyle, I don't think ever got a fair shot. He never got a fair shot at the double because of the rain stuff. And I hope that it works out for Katherine. I love the fact that we're continuing these conversations about the double. Carson Hocevar came out. I mean, he was there.
Practice days,
hanging
on the
out.
broadcast.
I guess
Cole Custer was there too.
Yeah, Cole Custer was there. Yeah, our teammate Cole Custer. I know Carson talked about wanting to do the double. I would not be at all surprised if he did it next year or the year after. So it's cool that these conversations are happening. I think it's great for both sides. I think it's great for NASCAR. I think it's great for IndyCar. Watching, hearing when Kyle Larson flew into Wilkesboro and, everybody, big round of applause for him coming in. He's the hero of all this. I love it. So I wish for success. I think she had a pretty decent qualifying effort, all things considered. It sounded like that deal kind of came together last minute. And, there's a lot of really good people trying to make that happen. So I think it's exciting, and it's definitely going to be a storyline to watch.
Yeah, news dropped at midnight on that, I think.
Yeah, it was so random.
It's just the randomest news drop. The Indy Star put it out first, and then the next day you saw everybody kind of announcing it. So it was really cool to see. I know you had sent me that. I was in Louisiana last week, and you had sent that over to me, and I was like, holy crap, because I was up working, and I was got to get this out.
Yep.
Talking a little bit about the IndyCar itself, the Indianapolis 500. Practice started well over a week ago. We got those 2 weeks, and this is more of a thing where it's really hard. Unless you are a diehard IndyCar fan, you're not really going to sit there every day and hardcore focus on every little thing that's happening, because it is practice, and these guys are just really out there trying to figure out how to make their car better. You have a whole 2 week block really to do that. You have qualifying after that first week, and then you go into this week that we're in now. Practice is still rolling. It is great to have on in the background. I'm going to say that pretty much every day, being here at the office, just knowing you can turn on Fox, you can watch practice. There's just Indy cars ripping around. There's banter. Georgia Hindenberry, Townsend Bell, Will Buxton, all the boys. Hinchcliffe, don't want to leave anybody out. They're a great group. And they put on some really funny commentary and just put the crew into different funny situations. And it's going to be an awesome crew for the race, too. I know Tony Stewart's going to be there doing some announcing with Fox. You got Danica Patrick up there. Rob Gronkowski is going to be
I saw that. That was
back.
awesome.
Yeah, he was at the Snake Pit last year. So now they're going to have him back to do the Snake Pit this year again. So he's like the chief commander of the Snake Pit.
Nice. You said you've never been to the Snake Pit.
I've still never been to the Snake Pit, dude.
That's crazy.
That is, and like, what's funny is like Connor usually, like when I was going to the Indy 500s over the last few years, like Connor always makes a trip over the Snake Pit, gets up on stage, parties down and stuff. It just has never worked out for me because like where I was at, it's like, I've always kind of wanted to go, but then like one year, like I had my wife and my son with me, and I was like, okay, we're just gonna hang out, at the suite. We're gonna hang out over here by where we're gonna sit, and that's just what we're gonna do. We talk, mingled, all everyone we know, and then I went on my own. Last year was at the Indy 500, and I was like, this is gonna be the year. I'm gonna go. So I'm with David Land at that race. So I'm chilling with him. Me and him get up at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and we drive over to the track. We go get up into the media center, and we watch the cannons go off at like 5 a.m. Like there's a whole deal, right? So we get done in there, and I'm heading down. And it was also the weekend that I had made the NOS Energy announcement too. So it was like a lot of that was going on. But I'm getting down there, and then they're like, I'm like, okay, I'm going to go head over when they start playing music. And then I get a phone call. Hey, come up to the suite. We got this, da-da-da. Okay, I'll just go run by here real fast, get back over there. Never left the suite. And that's usually how it plays out. It's like, because then I have to make that call. I'm like, okay, well, if I run over there, I might miss, like, the grid. And I don't want to miss the grid. And I don't want to miss these things. And if you don't have a golf cart, you're done. I don't know if you've ever been inside of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, but it is huge. And so there's just a lot of ground to cover. But it's just always great. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna miss it. I'm gonna miss being there this year, but I am excited to get to go to my first ever Coke 600.
First time. Oh my god.
First time in my entire life. I've never been to the Coke 600. This will be my first Coke 6. So I am excited about that. At least I get to go to one of the biggest races on the greatest day in motorsports.
I'm not even going to be there. I'm not going to be at the Coke 6.
That's terrible.
I have a birthday to go to.
It's great. Well, happy birthday to them. You'll be watching the Coke 6.
Happy birthday.
I don't know.
Felicia.
They're talking about rain. Keep the rain away.
Oof.
Cross up.
Here's my double. I have no desire, no inclination to do the double. Right?
Yeah?
I have zero. Here's my double. Race the O'Reilly race on Saturday. Get on a plane as soon as that thing ends. Head to the Speedway. Camp in the Speedway. Get up. Go straight to the Snake Pit. Party. And go to the Indy 500. That's my double.
Dude, we should.
That's my double.
Is it bad that I kind of want to do that?
That is my double.
I would really enjoy that.
Next year, 2027.
Let's do it. Look, I'm going to go to my Coke 600. I'm going to go there.
Yep.
I may be wearing an Indy 500 jacket. Don't be mad. But I'm going to go, and I'm going to experience it. And then I like your idea. I think 2027, that should be on the list.
You know the coolest thing about the Coke 600 Indy 500 double? Well, maybe not the coolest thing, but one of the really cool things is that Charlotte has that big screen on the backstretch.
Yeah.
They play the Indy 5.
Dude, that's great.
At the track.
Okay, so yeah, greatest day in motorsports. You can be
hanging there, just being being a part of the whole Cup aura, but then watch the Indy 5.
See, that's what I'm excited about, is to get with some of the guys I know in the Cup Series and just kind of like camp up and just watch that.
Yep.
Like, that's going to be pretty fun. Kind of getting back into this, just some quick news nuggets before we wrap. Alex Palou gets the pole for the Indy 500. You know, who would have thought, right? It is cool to see Alexander Rossi back up on the front row. He'll be starting second in that ECR car. However, practice day 7, he sent that thing, and it went right into the wall. It was very scary. I think we have a clip of it that we can show really quickly. for everyone to see. And it was, these things happen, but this was like the first big crash.
Very quickly.
Kind of the first big crash of the month, right?
Yeah. We haven't really had much. It's been pretty quiet. There were a couple other guys involved. I think Grosjean was one of the guys involved in it. But, man, imagine you're going 220, 230 around that track, dude, and you just whip the wall. Here it is. He's lost it right there.
It's just
gone. That's got to hurt, dude.
Oh.
So he went to the hospital after this. So he was in the hospital. He had a surgery, I believe, and from what I read, he's having that surgery, and he's like, I'll be back for carb day. So he is fully planning on being able to return Friday after having the surgery for minor injuries. I want to see exactly what was affected. Injuries, his left hand and right ankle sustained in today's practice incident at IMS is what the tweet or the post from IndyCar on X said. So has full intent, like psychos, absolute psychos that run the Indy 500. I've said it my entire life, and it's not in a bad way. I don't mean psycho in a bad way. It's just you got to have a different edge to you to run those cars, and I love every second of it. So shout out to Rossi for just being an absolute dog, putting it up there. He's got his spot. He's coming back for Friday. That's the plan right now. David Malukas is going to be starting in third. You have Rosenquist in fourth, which he had a pretty good consistent lap, just got beat out by Palou in the Fast Six. Ferrucci starting fifth. Santino, shout out to the boy Santino Ferrucci. Pato O'Ward in sixth. Kiffin Simpson in seventh. He's really coming a long way with that Chip Ganassi team. And then shout out to the homie Conor Daly with Dreyer Reinbold Racing. He's going to be starting in eighth. I think this is his highest starting spot that he's ever had in the Indy 500. It really feels like Conor's year. I want to see Conor win this race so bad.
That's what I said. I texted you the other day. I was just like, I think it's Conor's year.
Well, he top practiced in the second practice session, so I know he was up there. He's got the speed. He's running. It's just all about that execution on race day. We've seen him lead laps here. The entire dude, I cannot stress enough how wild it is because he really is the son of Indiana. The entire stands rumble. It's like you're at a man fighting a lion in Rome in the Colosseum.
Okay.
That's what it's like. And I'm telling you, I know that sounds like I may be really exaggerating that. I'm not lying to you. When I was there in 2021 and he was in that Air Force car, I didn't even know who Conor was at that period. That was my first Indy 500 I ever went to. When he took the lead, it was like this roar of the crowd. And every year since that I've been back, when he gets up there and leading, it's just this roar, dude. And you feel the vibration of it on you. So, dude, I think that the entire town of Speedway, Indiana might explode from an earthquake if he won. And, we would all just be riding and partying in it. You know what I mean? I feel like that would be a moment where I would have to get on an airplane immediately to get to Indiana if he wins this race.
Totally.
Just whatever I'm doing, stop, get me to the nearest airport. I got to get to Indiana. I got to go party with the homie. Scott McLaughlin going to be starting ninth, and then Scott Dixon will round out the top 10. There's been all kinds of cool little story nuggets. I could go into millions of them. Just don't have the time here. So make sure you check out IndyCar on Fox on YouTube. They have a ton of all the covers they've been doing. And we still have more practice coming up this week as well. So a lot of racing, great background action to have at the office or wherever you are.
It just makes you feel good that there's cars on track somewhere.
Yeah, there's cars on track, and it's electric to watch. So that's kind of a little bit of what we're looking forward to. And I feel like before we go, it would only be right for you and I to give at least one prediction. Who do we want to win the Indy 500 and the Coke 600? I want to start with you, Garrett.
Who do we want to win?
Who do we want? Who do we think is going to win?
Who do we think is going to win?
Who do we feel like is most likely going to win these races?
Well,
you can give two. You can give two to be fair. Two for each race.
Two for each race. Okay, here's a realistic prediction. I think Denny Hamlin wins.
Okay.
I think Denny wins the Coke 6. I think my dark horse is Carson Hocevar.
Carson Hocevar.
He almost did it last year. He was leading and blew up last year.
Wow.
So, and he's got the momentum behind him. So, that's for the Coke 6.
I'll say that, you started with Coke 6, so I guess I'm going to follow up. I want to look at a little bit of some of these averages here. Like, I know that, some of the drivers, maybe it is cheating. I don't know. I'm such a sucker for just, like, the data, though. Like, I have to see. All right, I'm not going to look.
Nah, you can look. You do whatever.
All right, so I'll say this much. The first name that comes to my mind is Tyler Reddick, just because of how this year has been going. That's another crown jewel event. He's already got the Daytona 500. I think we could easily see him get a Coke 600, just riding the momentum of what he's been able to do. He bowed out of the All-Star race this past week. He had some issues with the car. I think he comes back hot this weekend. I think he's hungry for it. He's trying to knock down some crown jewels this year. Tyler Reddick is the first guy on my mind to win the Coke 6. Secondly, behind that, a part of me wants to go in the direction of Hocevar with you, because I can easily see that happen, especially now that he's got the monkey off his back with the win. However, I don't know. I could go with Denny too, but you've already said Denny. Like Denny's the easy one. I wanna go with something a little out of the ordinary. I'm gonna say, out of the blue, we're gonna see someone like there's gonna be a Ford. It's gonna be a Ford car.
Okay.
I think we could see Ryan Blaney get this thing done. I don't know why, but I feel like he's really relaxed this year. I know he's had some issues and some things, but it just seems like when you get to Charlotte and with the energy that's been around him this year, he's creeping up to me as a dark horse. And it's not for me looking at averages, because if I'm looking at averages, it ain't good for him at all. He doesn't have the best track record at this place. But for some reason, I just feel like something might pop into place for Penske at this track. And if it's going to be anybody on the Penske side, I think it could be Ryan. Okay. So Tyler Reddick, Ryan Blaney, you go with Hocevar and Denny Hamlin. Yep. Now, Indy 500. Who are your two guys that you think will win this one? This is very easy for me.
Well, I said Conor.
Yep.
Helio Castroneves is racing?
Helio, he's going for it.
I had no idea.
He's trying to, I think, what would it be, fifth? The fifth one, maybe?
I had no idea.
I don't know.
I'm going to do Conor, and I'm going to say Takuma Sato does it again.
Takuma Sato.
Yeah.
I love Sato.
I mean, I think Conor does it, but Takuma's going to be my second pick.
Takuma has one of the greatest long bill hats in the game. Like, he's got that hat from the Sandlot, like the bill that one kid had, the fisherman hat. And, he just rocks that. He just does that thing.
Yeah. Shout out to my spotter, Brent.
Mm-hmm.
Brent Wentz. He attempted the double the last 2 times as a spotter, which I don't know if that's ever been done before.
That's a record.
He wasn't able to because of weather, of course.
Yeah.
But he spotted Takuma to, I believe...
2020, he spotted Takuma Sato, and they won the 500.
And they won the 500, so...
I remember watching that one.
My spotter has an Indy 5 championship, so...
That's a really
Shout
cool
out to
Brent. Mine is going to be pretty lackluster. It's no surprise. I'm going with Conor Daly to win this race. And then right behind that, Alex Palou. Pretty simple, kind of keeping it real. I would love to look up the stat. I don't have the stat in front of me for drivers that have gotten the pole for the Indy 500 that have won the Indy 500. I feel like that would be an interesting stat. So if you're watching this, listening to this, and you know the answer to that, hit us up in the comments and let us know. Really, I mean, I feel like I'm just excited for this weekend now. My head is like not on anything in the past. It's on moving forward into the greatest weekend in motorsports. I feel like this is a good place to call it. This has been the 9th episode of RaceSpace. Been fun. We're excited. Let us know who you think is going to win the Coke 6 and the Indy 5. And join us again next week for another episode of the RaceSpace Podcast. We'll see you then.